Top stories here on the Hot List. Iron Mike back in June. The former heavyweight champion will fight in Washington, D.C.
Tyson says his left knee is fine, and so is his head. The former heavyweight champ says he sank into depression last summer following surgery to repair torn cartilage in his left knee. But he's out of his funk and ready to take out some of his frustration on Kevin McBride in a June 11th fight in Washington, D.C. Following today's news conference to announce the bout, Tyson spoke with our Jeremy Schaap.
Mike Tyson returning to the ring for the first time since losing to Danny Williams last summer. Mike, first of all, how would you assess your state of preparation?
Well, I've already trained. I've been training 3 weeks in the boxing gym and probably a month, 6 weeks in strength and conditioning. And I feel pretty well. My leg is pretty much healed, and I'm just looking forward to this fight and start my career again.
During the fight against Danny Williams, you torqued your left knee. What was the actual diagnosis?
A torn meniscus. It was labeled that, and it was extremely painful, and time went on and I got over it, and I'm just looking forward to, like I said before, to cultivate and continue to fight.
What have you been doing for most of last year?
Nothing, just trying to get as much rehab on my leg as possible and try to spend as much time with my children as possible, and just trying to find myself. It's a little lost and just trying to find myself.
What have you found?
That this is a hard world out here, and if you don't make the decision to just be a man and just deal with the responsibilities of hand, you're going to be in for a lot of problems. It's all about our sacrifice. It's all about our sacrifice.
You said you were in a state of depression after the fight, after losing to Danny Williams, probably your worst loss ever, regardless of the injury. Can you describe that state of depression?
It was just the fact that I couldn't move. I had a cast on my leg, and I was basically, my wings were clipped, so to speak. I couldn't go anywhere, so I was grounded. And the fact of just being in the house for a month, 5 weeks, and it was just totally horrific. I never experienced anything like that before. And I was in a home where I was actually free, and it was just totally depressing. When you just going to the bathroom was just an overbearing pain.
Mike, at this point in your career, you're going to be 40 years old next year. Why would you pay to see you fight?
Well, yes, regardless of what I would do to see me fight, people will see me fight because they know I'm a great attraction, and I'm a great entertainment, regardless of my circumstances or my profession.
What are your financial circumstances?
My financial circumstances, that I'm doing well, and that my bill with the IRS is almost gone, and that's something to be happy about as well.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. When Mike Tyson first started as a pro, he was one of the toughest and busiest fighters on the scene. He fought 128 rounds in the 1980s, but that number has declined through the decades. The 38-year-old Tyson has a pro record of 50-5 with 44 knockouts. He has lost 2 of his last 3 fights.
Is it smart to be shelling out the big bucks to watch Mike Tyson the next time he steps into the ring? Find out next on The Horn. Boxing, or at least something that resembles boxing. Mike Tyson will be back in the ring on June 11th, taking on Kevin McBride in Washington, D.C. The fight will be Tyson's first in 11 months. His last was a 4-round beatdown at the hands of professional tomato can Danny Williams. Guys, buy or sell Mike Tyson still being the biggest draw in boxing? Mariotti, what do you have?
No, I'm going to sell that. You know why? Last year against some stiff from Britain, 230,000 hits. That was a far cry from the 1.95 million way back when. This guy can just disappear. I'm tired of the tabloid Tyson. And Tony, you just have Nostradamus envy. That's the problem.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. Woody Page.
I'm buying it because, yes, you tell me who else is a bigger draw right now. All of the classes have collapsed. Nobody's interested in watching any of the fighters. You haven't even heard of most of them. I promise you that it's pay-per-view. I'll watch it. We don't know what he's going to do, whether he's going to go down in the first round, whether he's going to knock the guy out in the third round or bite his ear off or grab him around and do a bear hug. Yes, we want to still watch him. He is still a person that, if nothing else, you love to hear him in the post-fight conference and what he says.
All right, Adande.
I'm selling, yeah, I'd buy an interview with him, but people aren't buying it. Jay, it's pay-per-view buys, not hits, by the way. And Tito Trinidad had more than Tyson when the last time Trinidad was out there, so he's out there. And Jay, I'm now up 50 points on you. Buy that.
51. All right, Kellis, go ahead.
I'm buying this one. When people say Floyd Mayweather, nobody gets excited. When you say heavyweight champion Chris Bird, people say, who the heck is that? It's still Tyson, still has the name.
All right. First cut to
Mike Tyson held a press conference right here in Washington, D.C. today to announce his scheduled fight against 6'6" Kevin McBride, who Tyson, by the way, called, quote, real cute, unquote. In trumpeting the fight, Tyson said, quote, it's going to be a train wreck. Wilbon, your thoughts?
Well, that guy reminds me of Jack Jeffries a little bit. Doesn't he remind you of that?
Who?
The big challenger.
The big challenger is like 3 feet taller than Tyson.
He's huge. Yeah. A train wreck. You know what? It's probably the truth. It probably will be. You know, Mike Tyson has signed to fight in Washington before. Never came off. That was a train wreck for the organizers and the people who thought we were going to have a big Tyson party.
If you're trying to sell a fight, do you think train wreck is an appetizing way to get people to sell?
Yes, because you know people want to. Tony, why do we watch boxing? We want to see somebody get hurt. We want to see somebody carried out of the ring. So, yes, a train wreck is exactly the way to characterize it.
It also, if that was a Freudian slip, could be said to describe Mike Tyson's career over the last 10 or 12 years.
He would admit that, wouldn't he?
Right?
He does it.
I mean, it has been. I just think, I'm glad he's fighting again here so we could maybe see the fight.
And you're going to go. You know you're going to go. So I guess he promoted it pretty well.
Let's take to the news now. What's left for Iron Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, is now 38 years old. He's coming off a knee injury and coming off his first loss against a non-champion. That was against Danny Williams in July of last year. This week, the official announcement of his next bout, it will be, as expected, against that man, Kevin McBride. It's a big one. McBride of Ireland, he'll fight on June 11th. After the news conference, Jeremy Shepp chatted with Tyson and family.
Mike Tyson returning to the ring for the first time since losing to Danny Williams last summer. Mike, first of all, how would you assess your state of preparation?
Well, I've already trained. I've been training 3 weeks in the boxing gym and probably a month, 6 weeks in strength and conditioning. And I feel pretty well. My leg is pretty much healed, and I'm just looking forward to this fight and start my career again.
During the fight against Danny Williams, you torqued your left knee. What was the actual diagnosis?
A torn meniscus. It was labeled as, and it was extremely painful. And time went on, and I got over it. And I'm just looking forward to, like I said before, to cultivate and continue to fight.
What have you been doing for most of last year?
Nothing. Just trying to get as much rehab on my leg as possible, and try to spend as much time with my children as possible. And just trying to find myself. Just a little lost and just trying to find myself.
What have you found?
That this is a hard world out here, and if you don't make the decision to just be a man and just deal with the responsibilities of hand, you're going to be in for a lot of problems. It's all about our sacrifice. All about our sacrifice.
You said you were in a state of depression after the fight, after losing to Danny Williams, probably your worst loss ever, regardless of the injury. Can you describe that state of depression?
It was just the fact that I couldn't move. I had a cast on my leg, and I was basically, my wings were clipped, so to speak. I couldn't go anywhere, so I was grounded. And the fact of just being in the house for a month, 5 weeks, and it was just totally horrific. I never experienced anything like that before. And I was in a home where I was actually free, and it was just totally depressing. When you just going to the bathroom was just an overbearing pain.
Mike, at this point in your career, you're going to be 40 years old next year. Why would you pay to see you fight?
Well, yes, regardless of what I would do to see me fight, people will see me fight because they know I'm a great attraction and I'm a great entertainment, regardless of my circumstances and my profession.
What are your financial circumstances?
My financial circumstances, that I'm doing well, and that my bill with the IRS is almost gone, and that's something to be happy about as well.
Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. See you.
Jeremy Shepp with Mike Tyson. Tyson is 38 years old. McBride, if you saw him here on Friday Night Fights just last month, is a big man. He packs a while, very slow. And when he's stepped up, he's been stopped, TKO'd by DeVarrell Williamson, TKO'd by Axel Schultz. Yes, Axel Schultz in 1997, 6'5", 6'6". Big man to fight Mike Tyson on June 11th.
Tour and Teddy Atlas with you. Well, we heard the big news this week. I don't know if you want to call it big news, more of a spectacle or the circus coming to town. But Mike Tyson will indeed fight Kevin McBride, a fighter that, Teddy, I mean, we flat out shredded when we saw him a month ago. I mean, this was one of the slowest and deliberate plotting heavyweights we have ever seen. Now Tyson gets Kevin McBride. Your thoughts?
Well, you ran out and had a sandwich while McBride was throwing the right hand. You got back before the left.
I remember that, yes.
I remember that, too. That was pretty nice. But look, I'm glad that McBride's making a payday. I really am. He's been around. He's making a payday. That's okay.
I agree with you. He's a good guy. Let him get his money.
But we have to be honest here. We're paid to be honest. And that fight should not last more than 1 round. It really shouldn't. Matter of fact, to really PR the fight, I think they should be creative, because on its own, I don't think it can be competitive, and I don't think people would want to buy it.
What do you suggest?
I suggest doing something like they did with Roy Jones when he played basketball during the day.
Oh, yeah, played basketball, then had a title fight. You're right.
Let Tyson do something like maybe a hot dog eating contest during the day. And then at night fight, and matter of fact, go a step further. Have the hot dog eating contest that night while he's in the ring, preferably using the right hand for the hot dog and the left hand for McBride.
Teddy, I would say do it in between rounds, but I don't know that we'll get an in-between round between Mike Tyson
in between rounds,
and Kevin McBride.
Mic it up for the burps.
So obviously, that is going to be well criticized as we come around to June. Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride. I don't know that many true boxing fans have a great interest in that fight, but the mainstream public, hey, they still don't get it. And just further defines how big of a spectacle and superstar Mike Tyson has been for all these many years.
And then the next Saturday, June 11th, you can watch the return of Mike Tyson against Kevin McBride on Showtime pay-per-view. The former heavyweight champion sat down with our Jim Gray to talk about his fight next weekend.
Why do you think so many people have purchased tickets to see you fight when, in essence, you really haven't been a great fighter for a number of years?
I don't know. It depends on what's your definition of a great fighter. A great fighter is someone that fills the seats up. I've always been capable of doing it. I mean,
Are you a great fighter in your mind now?
Absolutely. And I believe, like I've said before, I'm an entertainer. Not only am I a great fighter, I'm a great entertainer. And I entertain the people, and people come to get entertained.
What makes you say you're a great fighter today?
Well, my record speaks for itself. And besides losing to the guy that lost, all the guys that lost to were world champions. And when I did lose to him, I put up great fights. And losing to Mr. Williams, everyone would know. If anybody from a boxing standpoint would know, that was a big fluke. You know, you can't take anything away from Mr. Williams, but that was a big fluke. But I believe in myself. I love to compete, and it's in my soul. And like I said before, the record speaks for itself.
Man, I never thought I'd call him Mr. Williams, huh? Really, Mike has really changed in some ways. But, Steve, one day they're going to write a psychological thesis on the public's enduring fascination with Mike Tyson.
I think they're already writing that thesis, and it's going to be a long one, Nick. But, you know, Mike Tyson's continued attraction to the public is pretty simple. He mentioned the Danny Williams fight. Was there a more exciting heavyweight fight in 2004? He's still exciting. We certainly know he's unpredictable. That hasn't changed in years. And the other thing about Mike Tyson, to contrast him against the heavyweight division today, the heavyweight division today is dull. Mike Tyson has never, ever been dull, and I don't think ever will be.
So Mike Tyson returns to the ring next Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view when he takes on Kevin McBride in a bout scheduled for 10 rounds or less from Washington, D.C.
You know his name. You know his power. But what you don't know is what'll happen next.
It's going to be a train wreck.
Mike Tyson versus 6'6" giant Kevin McBride. Saturday, June 11th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. With Mike Tyson, anything is possible. Don't miss it. Tyson versus McBride on Channel 123.
So much more to come right here on The Pulse as we're going to talk boxing on the other side. Mike Tyson. Nobody thought Danny Williams would knock him out, but could Kevin McBride? Oh, we talked with Dan Rafael about Tyson and plenty more from the ring. Keep it right here. This is The Pulse. this. We want you to get on and answer, and you already have, and you can keep doing it. Are you interested in Mike Tyson's fight next weekend? It is against Kevin McBride. Kevin McBride is from Massachusetts. 65% of you say no, you are not interested. You know what? I think some of you are fibbing, but that's all right. Thanks for voting. You know, even now, there may be nobody in boxing followed as closely as Mike Tyson, although that poll may not indicate it. And at nearly 39 years of age, Tyson is set to fight Kevin McBride at the MCI Center in Washington next Saturday, June 11th. Dan Rayfield of ESPN.com joins us now to talk Tyson and other things boxing related. Dan, thanks for the time on the Pulse. First up, nobody thought Tyson would get knocked out by Danny Williams last July, but he did. Nobody thinks Kevin McBride has a chance against Tyson next Saturday. How much of a chance does he have?
Well, knowing that Tyson was knocked out in his last fight, you have to give him at least a couple % chance of winning the fight. I don't think anybody thought Danny Williams would win. But that being said, Danny Williams was a much better cut of opponent than Kevin McBride is. Danny Williams had competed at the very least at the highest level on the European scene and in Great Britain, and Kevin McBride has never been in with the level of guys Williams had been in. And when McBride has stepped up even a little bit, he's usually lost. So I think that they were trying to get McBride in Williams' place last year, and they couldn't make the deal financially, and they paid for it, and now they're back to McBride. So McBride is a lesser version of Danny Williams, and I don't expect Tyson to have too many problems with him.
Dan, the heavyweight class is certainly not loaded. Guys like Klitschko, Bird, and Tony are not exactly Foreman, Ali, and Frazier. That said, how much of a chance does Mike Tyson have of once again being a contender for the heavyweight title he once had?
I get asked that question probably once a day at least. And I've been saying for years, many, many years, that Tyson, while still an attraction and people still follow his career and are still interested in watching him fight, my personal opinion is that he is not a legitimate contender, if for no other reason because he doesn't fight very often. He fights once a year, if that. When he does fight, he's not fighting the top opponents. And when he has fought the top opponents in the recent years, he's been stopped or, he hasn't looked that good. So I just don't see him being a serious contender again. I mean, it would take something for him to actually get the shot. I think it could happen because he does bring money and fans. But whether or not he can win against one of the better guys out there, it remains to be seen. I know the division's not very deep at the moment, but there's still some quality guys that maybe they're not popular in the public, but they can still fight a little bit. And Mike Tyson at age 38, 39, in boxing 20 years now as a professional, the time is not on his side.
Mike Tyson is fighting Saturday. Actually, Tyson's really fought his whole life. He's even seen prison. But then again, who hasn't?
James Keating went to prison. A lot of people went to prison. Mike Milton went to prison. Jesus Christ went to prison. A lot of people went to prison, but that's not the end of their lives. That's really not the end of life. It's probably the beginning once they come out.
You must have loved my last show, huh? So you brought me back.
I'm definitely not normal now. I never wanted to be normal.
I'm gonna make you my girlfriend. I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy like that.
Yeah, I'm on the Zoloft thing, right? But I'm on that to keep me from killing y'all.
I need therapy. I haven't been in therapy. I need therapy.
I'm not Mother Teresa, and I'm not Charles Manson either.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
I'm no new Mike Tyson.
What I'm going to do, I'm not going to go and become a rocket scientist all of a sudden.
Because I'm just tired of being stupid. I'm just having fun now.
I might get fade into Bolivian.
Listen, I have some issues.
Yeah, more Mike Tyson quotes. I'll never be happy. I believe I'll die alone. I would want it that way. I've been a loner all my life with my secrets and my pain. I'm really lost, but I'm trying to find myself. I'm really a sad, pathetic case. Those quotes in a story recently published in the USA Today. What would be even more sad, more pathetic for Iron Mike would be losing Saturday night to Kevin McBride in Washington, D.C. See, at almost 39, Tyson thinks he still has a shot at the heavyweight title. Tyson talked boxing and life with Jeremy Schaap.
Do you feel that you're close to becoming a heavyweight champion again?
Absolutely. Absolutely, but it has to be done smart. It can't be done by being in there and just wrecking myself, destroying my body, and it has to be done slowly and have to be done more as an intellectual point of form.
You've been doing this a long time now, Mike, but you haven't had a lot of rounds the last few years. How do you feel?
I don't know. That's why I think I'm more preserved than most of the guys. I haven't, even some fights where I took some shellac and some, I don't know, I'm pretty resilient. You know what I mean? I've been inactive a lot. I had a lot of time for my body to heal, and I'm pretty fresh.
A lot of people say, boy, Mike Tyson, nobody squandered more talent than Mike Tyson, that he threw away everything, not to mention $300 million, but the championship and everything you had going for you. How do you deal with that on a daily basis?
I don't deal with it. I don't deal with it. I just understand. I'm just like myself. I'm just under a microscope. I had all those things, but I never truly had anybody that I can love or anybody that I cared about, or else I believe they cared about me. And if you don't have that, you know, giving all that up don't mean anything. Having all that means nothing.
Do you have that now?
I feel a lot more content about my associates than I did in the past.
Mike, you're a pretty introspective guy. You've thought about this. You must have some reason in your head why people are still fascinated with you.
Because they know when I get this mental block out of my head that I'm the best fighter in the world, and that's what they want to see. They want to be entertained.
What mental block?
It's that sometimes I have certain doubts about certain things in my life, and sometimes I think I don't want to do this, but this is what I love doing. When it comes down to it, this is truly what I love doing. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. I just truly love it.
How conflicted are you about boxing?
I don't know, just mostly from the people that I've been involved with in boxing. You think about Don King, you think about being involved with my ex-wife and all that stuff. It's just, it takes a toll on you. This is like a Greek tragedy, like a peripateo, one of those things. Is when all my life I thought one thing and I realized that it wasn't true, it was all a lie. And I realized that there are good people in this world, and there's people that care, and people that want to commit and making you and helping you become a better person.
How do you prevent your life from ending as a Greek tragedy?
Oh, it's never gonna, I never had a Greek tragedy. I probably was on the track, but I've never, nothing tragic about Mike Tyson. My life was tragic before I got involved with boxing. Living in Brownsville was pretty tragic. That was tragic, but I never had no tragedy. I had some money, lost some money, I went to prison. That's the basic everyday life. James Keating went to prison. A lot of people went to, Mike Milton went to prison. You know, Jesus Christ went to prison. A lot of people went to prison, but that's not the end of their lives. You know what I mean? That's really not the end of life. It's probably the beginning once they come out. You lay down for a while, then you get up, but just don't lay down and quit. Just lay down, slow down, but never quit. Just get up and you start fighting again.
Mike Tyson goes into Saturday night's fight having lost 2 of his last 3 fights, most recently getting knocked out by Danny Williams last July.
And Mike Tyson is preparing to fight again, so he's talking again as well. This time, a calmer, gentler Mike discusses why he's not that man he once was.
I never had a Greek tragedy. I probably was on the track, but I've never, nothing tragic about Mike Tyson. My life was tragic before I got involved with boxing.
One day I went out one day because sometimes you train, you just went crazy, went bored, and I went to a strip club and I gave some dancer a lap dance.
I'm up. You know what I mean? I got issues.
You're scared, coward. You're not man enough to me. I've been embarrassed, humiliation, degradation, and any other T-I-O-N you can name. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. The great-grandkids will go say, wow, wasn't that a bizarre individual?
Never at a loss for words, Mike Tyson is still talking, though, but now his words lack the swagger, the strength, and the security. The former heavyweight champ was recently quoted as saying, "I believe I'll die alone. I'm really lost, but I'm trying to find myself. I'm really a sad and pathetic case." At the age of 39, Tyson hopes to find himself with another title sooner than later. Our Jeremy Schaap found that out.
Do you feel that you're close to becoming a heavyweight champion again?
Absolutely. Absolutely, but it has to be done smart. It can't be done by being in there and just wrecking myself, destroying my body, and it has to be done slowly and have to be done more as an intellectual point of form.
You've been doing this a long time now, Mike, but you haven't had a lot of rounds the last few years. How do you feel?
That's how I don't know. That's why I think I'm more preserved than most of the guys. I haven't, even some fights where I took some shellac and some, I just, I don't know, I'm pretty resilient. You know what I mean? I've been inactive a lot. I had a lot of time for my body to heal, and I'm pretty fresh.
You know, a lot of people say, boy, Mike Tyson, nobody squandered more talent than Mike Tyson. That he threw away everything, not to mention $300 million, but the championship and everything you had going for you. How do you deal with that on a daily basis?
I don't deal with it. I don't deal with it. I just understand. I'm just like myself. I'm just under a microscope. I had all those things, but I never truly had anybody that I can love or anybody that I cared about, or else I believe they cared about me. And if you don't have that, you know, giving all that up don't mean anything. Having all that means nothing.
Do you have that now?
I feel a lot more content about my associates than I did in the past.
Mike, you're a pretty introspective guy. You've thought about this. You must have some reason in your head why people are still fascinated with you.
Because they know when I get this mental block out of my head that I'm the best fighter in the world, and that's what they want to see. They want to be entertained.
What mental block?
It's that sometimes I have certain doubts about certain things in my life, and sometimes I think I don't want to do this, but this is what I love doing. When it comes down to it, this is truly what I love doing. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. I just truly love it.
How conflicted are you about boxing?
I don't know, just mostly from the people that I've been involved with in boxing. You think about Don King, you think about being involved with my ex-wife and all that stuff. It's just, it takes a toll on you. This is like a Greek tragedy, like a peripateo, one of those things. Is when all my life I thought one thing and I realized that it wasn't true, it was all a lie. And I realized that there are good people in this world, and there's people that care, and people that want to commit and making you and helping you become a better person.
How do you prevent your life from ending as a Greek tragedy?
Oh, it's never going to. I never had a Greek tragedy. I probably was on the track, but I've never, nothing tragic about Mike Tyson. My life was tragic before I got involved with boxing. Living in Brownsville was pretty tragic. That was tragic, but
significant fights coming up this weekend. I just have to mention Miguel Cotto, Muhammad Abdullayev, and Kid Diamond versus Joel Casamayor. But people want to know about Tyson, so let me get to that because we're running out of show here. Nigel, what do you think of Mike Tyson, Kevin McBride?
Well, you know, it looks like a no-brainer, an easy win for Mike Tyson, but we've said that before, and let me say this. 2 weeks ago, we sent a photographer to Phoenix to photograph Mike in the gym, and the day that he was supposed to arrive, he begged off, and the excuse he gave was a bad back. Now, he turned up at the gym the next day, and we did the photo shoot, but he said his back was still hurting him. So is this already a built-in excuse if something goes wrong? You know, he's at the age where those little nagging injuries do bother you more than a young athlete. But, hey, if he's even the Mike Tyson that fought Danny Williams, he should be able to beat the holy tar out of Kevin McBride.
Jeff Fennick training him now. Any effect? I mean, you minimize the effect that any trainer has with Tyson at this point, but Fennick seems to have his ear. What do you think?
I think they have a good relationship. He's been part of the camp before, but never the head trainer. And I think because Fennick, in a way, fought in a Mike Tyson style, a really ruthless style.
Absolutely.
That Mike Tyson was a fan of Jeff Fennick, the fighter, and maybe Jeff can get a little bit more out of him than some of the other people that actually, you know, weren't quite the fighter that, I mean, in all due respect to Freddie Roach, he wasn't the fighter that Jeff Fennick was. But also, Jeff has taken a little different approach. He's eased Mike into his training regimen rather slowly and working up to the harder work instead of trying to have a crash course to get him in shape right away.
All right. Again, Nigel Collins, editor of Ring Magazine. Nigel, always good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Nigel Collins joining us here on the Hot List.
Time to talk about the headliners. And this week, well, the headliner of choice, according to the mainstream media, because a lot of boxing fans really don't care, is Iron Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight champion of the world. He's in Washington, D.C. in a pay-per-view against one Kevin McBride, a heavyweight who Teddy and I absolutely shredded when we had him on our air this past March. Teddy, go ahead.
No, sometimes when you're going to look at maybe diving in the Olympics, you want to see what the degree of difficulty is going to be for the dive.
Of course.
Now, the degree of difficulty for this, may I dare say, dive that Tyson's going to be part of is not great. So I would say to make it a little bit more interesting or interesting at all, do something a little different. Make the degree of difficulty just exist a little bit. Come in on a unicycle. No, really.
How about fight handcuffed? I mean,
on a unicycle, I still think it's going to be a short fight, but, you know, it may allow
Well, let's talk about why you think it'll be a short fight. We've had Kevin McBride before, and here's what amazes me about the coverage that this fight is getting. This is not a fight. This is simply an event. This is like covering a celebrity, like Madonna on the cover of People magazine, or the way Dennis Rodman was once covered. Fighting and boxing is just a vehicle by which to cover Mike Tyson. This has nothing to do with a fight.
No, and I will take your lead. Michael Jackson meets Everlast.
Exactly.
Remember Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein,
right?
Dracula, you know. It's
but what's
along those
amazing
lines.
here, Teddy, is that, I mean, he's on the cover of USA Today. He's getting massive amounts of TV coverage and print coverage. Has anybody looked up and said, okay, who's he fighting and what's this guy all about? Has anybody asked any boxing expert? Because Kevin McBride, I mean, we had him on our air. This is one of the slowest, most plodding heavyweights you will ever see. He's going to be a standing target all night long.
But that's why this fight's taking place, and all joking aside. Tyson is not a fighter anymore. A fighter, really in the definition of its own, means a guy who deals with resistance. He doesn't deal with resistance. When he has resistance, he goes south. That's been proven as far as his past has been, you know, chronicled. So this is a matter of getting the right opponent where Tyson will get into the ring, where he will win, where they will be able to start that propaganda machine, quite honestly, that PR machine once again, to be able to fit him into a payday once again. This is just proof to me that Jerry Springer is not dead. You know, really, they're not all reruns. There are still some live Jerry Springer shows. Watch it Saturday.
Having said all that, I will make this statement, and it is a true statement, and it sums up the heavyweight division right now. Mike Tyson is still the most marketable heavyweight on the face of the earth. He's in a pay-per-view against Kevin McBride. End of story.
Unfortunately,
that is true.
Us talking about it right now is probably proof of that.
He is the most marketable heavyweight on the face of the earth right now. Now,
so what's at stake when Mike Tyson squares off Saturday night against Kevin McBride? Well, promoter Rock Newman, for one, says everything in Tyson's professional life is riding on the outcome, meaning if Tyson loses, he's likely done. We heard that before. Today, the final pre-fight gathering before the media, and Tyson at least sounded like the Tyson of old. Here's Jeremy Schaap.
The Lincoln Memorial here in our nation's capital, the site of Saturday night's fight between Iron Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride, the Clonus Colossus. The pre-fight press conference Wednesday at Howard University, during which Mike Tyson got quite agitated with McBride's advisor, Rich Cappiello.
I've basically been hearing Mike Tyson's been coming back for years now. He was supposed to come back last year. He was supposed to come back the year before that. When's he coming back? I don't think he's coming back. I got a great amount of respect for him. He was great in his time, but I think this is our time now.
You're going to get Kevin killed. You better stop. You better stop. Just go sit down. Just go sit down and say have a good fight.
Listen, I've been working with Kevin for 2.5 years. I've never seen him prepare himself like he has.
I'm going to gut him like a fish. Sit down.
He's focused. Hard on him. He's focused, and he positively believes he can knock out Mike. He's a 6'6", 270-pound, big, huge man with a huge opportunity in front of him. So Mike can say what he's got to say, but on Saturday night we'll see. I think he's had his day. I think his day is gone. And I think our day's here to come.
I'm going to hit Mike Tyson on the chin. He's going to think the whole of Ireland as an island hit him on the chin.
You're going to break your hand.
I don't care if I break my hand as long as I hit you, you know what I mean? But
you're not talking as tough as your friend over there with the pinky ring.
A feisty Mike Tyson at the press conference before his fight against Kevin McBride Saturday night here in Washington, D.C. I'm Jeremy Schaap, joined by Hasim Rahman, the former world heavyweight champion, and of course another former world heavyweight champion, Michael Gerard Tyson. Good to see you, Mike. How does it feel, Mike, to be back at center stage with all these people still interested in what you're doing?
Well, I'm happy. I'm just happy to be able to, like Rockman was saying, have an opportunity to continue to be able to doing it and be in the condition to continue to compete at this level. I'm just looking forward to it again.
What have you missed about not being in the spotlight for the last year?
Not necessarily spotlight. I miss not doing what I was born to do. You know, this is what I was born to do, and I deprived myself by just not doing it because I just had hard feelings. I just didn't know how to handle the pressure.
Mike, I watched you yesterday work out. You was nice and calm. Your demeanor was nice and calm. But today at the press conference, you got a little fiery. You got feisty up there. I mean, they ticked you off. You upset now?
Well, you're a fighter. You know, you're being around your friends, your family members. When you're training, you feel good. You're happy. Everybody's there. And then you see the person that you've been training for that whole 10 months, and then you're ready. You're just ready right there. You're ready now. Almost like a pit bull mentality. You're ready to attack them right now, but just you don't because you have rationality, unlike a pit bull. And I guess that's just it.
Mike, do you feel it's disrespectful that somebody like Kevin McBride would think that he can beat you and say he's going to knock you out?
Well, I believe fighters say things to one another, but I fought a fighter by the name of Francois Bolter, and by defeating him, I learned a lot from him. He never says anything disrespectful about another fighter, and that's the route I want to go. I don't want to ever be able to say anything bad or disrespectful about other fighters.
Do you think that the aura of the old Tyson is still existing fighters? Do you think they're afraid of you, or do you think, you know, they say, well, Danny Williams beat Mike Tyson, I can beat Mike Tyson?
Well, I don't think Danny Williams beat me. He got a win on his belt for beat me, but I'm just looking for my job to intimidate them is by hitting them. If they're intimidated before they get in the ring, that's their psychic. I just want to show them they have a reason to be intimidated by me hitting them.
Well, putting aside for a moment the question of whether they are intimidated, how much confidence do you still have in your abilities?
I'm pretty confident. I've been working for 11 weeks, and I'm just pretty confident.
Well, how would you describe your level of confidence, say, as opposed to the Mike Tyson who got into the ring 8 or 9 years ago? When you get in the ring, are you now certain that you're going to win?
Well, nothing's ever certain, but I put on the best effort to win. Nothing's certain. We like to believe that we can never lose, but we know that we're human beings, and even though we're invincible at times, we're very fragile, and anything can happen. But so much comes out of losing, and losing is a form of winning, but we never had the thought of losing in our minds.
If you lose this fight, people say you're out of the picture. If you win this fight, how close do you think you are to fighting for the title again?
Well, like I said before, losing is the furthest thing from my mind, and it's only one step at a time. It's just like a plateau. I've been away from a while. I've been inactive. I had a really bizarre lifetime for a while when I was out boxing. So I'm just taking it one step at a time. And like I said before, winning a championship belt don't define who I am as a man or a person. I put in my work, and I'm just looking forward to improve my legacy in fighting.
Mike Tyson, thank you very much for joining us. For Hasim Rahman, I am Jeremy Schaap. We'll be here all week leading up to the Kevin McBride-Mike Tyson fight at the MCI Center Saturday night here in Washington, D.C.
To Mike Tyson, he says he's ready and raring to go. How much does he weigh? How fit is he? What's his body looking like right now? All those questions will be answered next. The weigh-in for Tyson coming up next. Saturday, former heavyweight champ Iron Mike Tyson goes back into the ring against unheralded Kevin McBride. Tyson, with 2 losses and a no contest in his last 5 fights, is looking to resurrect his career. ESPN's Jeremy Schaap headlines our coverage of the weigh-in from Howard University. Here is Jeremy Schaap.
And welcome to the campus of Howard University, the historic Black College in Washington, D.C. 2 nights from tonight, Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride will be fighting. There's Mike Tyson. He's here at Howard University now, moments away from the weigh-in. And I am pleased to be joined by our expert analyst who has been with us all week long, the former world heavyweight champion, Hasim Rahman. Now, Hasim, of course, a heavyweight fight, it doesn't matter what these guys weigh. They can weigh whatever they want to weigh. But as someone who's been in this position, a heavyweight fighter, what statement you want to make when you come to the weigh-in before a big fight?
Well, definitely you want the people to know that you put in 6, 8, 10 weeks of hard work, road work, sit-ups. This is your time to show the people that you're in for a good fight. I'm ready. I'm in shape. Look at this body. I'm ripped. You see abs. You see the whole 9.
Now, yesterday we had a chance to see Kevin McBride and Mike Tyson face-to-face. You got a sense of just how big the difference is in size. Kevin McBride towering over Mike Tyson. McBride is 6'6". Tyson is really maybe about 5'9". And we'll find out shortly exactly how big the difference is in weight. If you were rooting for Mike Tyson in this fight, if you wanted to see him perform at his peak level, Hasim, what weight would you want him to be?
Well, we know Mike Tyson at under 230 pounds is devastating. You would be in for a spectacular performance. If he comes in between 230 and 235, I still think it's a pretty good weight for him for this fight. If he comes in 235 to 240, you know, I like Kevin's chances. I mean, you know, Kevin got a shot.
All right, well, we will find out in just a moment. We're going to send it down now to the stage and promoter Rock Newman for the particulars.
Once again, everyone here on the historically black university, Howard University, I want to welcome you all and thank you again for coming. And also we want to say to all the viewers watching in this country and around the world live on ESPN News, we have today's weigh-in between Kevin McBride and Mike Tyson for their fight Saturday night at the MCI Center. A great night of boxing and entertainment. And now we're going to go not to the videotape, but we're going to go to the scales. First on the scales, the most famous athlete in the world, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, 233.
Next on the scale.
So Mike Tyson weighing in at 233
Kevin
pounds,
McBride.
looking quite fit. This will be only the fourth time he has ever entered the ring weighing more than 230 pounds. He has lost 2 of his previous 3 fights, and now Kevin McBride stepping on the scale.
Kelvin McBride, 271.
Well, the story here was really going to be Mike Tyson's weight. We were all curious to find out how much he weighed, but I think we've got to be a little bit surprised that Kevin McBride is coming in at 271 pounds. We're going to take a look now at the full tale of the tape. As I just said, it's 233 pounds for Mike Tyson, a full 38 pounds heavier for Kevin McBride, coming in at 271. McBride also enjoys a tremendous reach advantage, 82 inches as opposed to 71 inches for Mike Tyson. And in terms of age, Kevin McBride almost 7 years younger than Mike Tyson, 32 years old as opposed to 38 years old for Mike Tyson. Hasim, you said it before, you said 233, that would be right around killing range for Mike Tyson. What are your impressions about how he looks?
Well, Mike Tyson looked excellent at 233 for this type of opponent. But to me, Kevin McBride seemed to take another page out of Danny Williams' book, come in at 271. Danny Williams came in 266 and was able to absorb some of those early shots from Tyson and then turn the tables on him and knock him out. So I believe that Kevin took a page out of Danny Williams' book.
Now, yesterday we saw kind of a feisty Mike Tyson at the press conference. Could you get any sense for what his mood might be right now, based just on what you saw?
Well, just based on what I saw, he looks a little calm, and he looks like he's ready to get in this ring and get this guy out of there. He's tired of all this Kevin McBride talk.
233 pounds, you said that would be good enough to beat Kevin McBride, but would you have more confidence in him if, say, he'd come in at 228 or 229?
Definitely. If he came in at 228, 229, I wouldn't expect this fight to go 90 seconds. But at 233, I still don't expect it to go 3 rounds. But, I've been shocked before.
You know, the odds in this fight at this point, it's 9.5 to 1 against Kevin McBride. I think that pretty much reflects the general opinion of what's going on here. We've got a man who was once the world heavyweight champion fighting, at best, a journeyman from the Republic of Ireland. That being said, he is a colossal guy, 271 pounds weighing into this fight, 6'6", a much bigger man with a huge reach advantage. How would Mike Tyson contend with that aspect of Kevin McBride's makeup, the fact that he's got to find a way to get inside on him?
Well, he's been preparing to get inside with simulated Kevin McBride, which is sparring partners with that weight and height disparity. So he's definitely formulated a game plan. I don't know exactly what it'll be. He'll have to probably work his body and then come up with some big shots. But he's definitely prepared. He's had Kevin McBride clones in his gym for the last 8-10 weeks. So he definitely should be ready.
All right, well, we'll find out more now from the former world heavyweight champion, who is standing by with ESPN.com senior boxing writer Dan Rayfield.
Hey, Mike, I want to ask you about Kevin McBride's weight. He was 271 pounds. You're weighing about the same that you've weighed in the past few fights. What do you make of him weighing so much bigger than you?
I don't mind. It's okay. He's a bigger guy. He just makes more noise when he falls.
So you're predicting a knockout in this fight, obviously.
Oh, definitely. I'm in great shape. I feel real good. We trained a lot of hours. I put in 11 weeks, and I feel real confident for the victory.
Now, Mike, it's been about a year since you fought last. You've been fighting about once per year the last few years. How is that going to affect you coming into this fight with McBride, if at all?
Well, I don't think it will, but I've been doing a lot of training with a lot of tough sparring partners, and I'm going to change that schedule and fight probably every 3 or 2 months, and I'm looking forward to staying active again.
Now, most people, Mike, view this fight as a way for you to make your march towards possibly regaining the heavyweight championship of the world. I'm wondering, how long do you think it can take until you can be in that position again to fight for the title?
I'm just taking one fight at a time. I'm just trying to cultivate my skills after a long period of inactivity.
Now, Mike, there are 4 guys out there that have the title belts: Klitschko, Bird, Lehman Brewster, John Ruiz. Is there one of those 4 guys that you would like to fight the most to get the title shot, or does it not make a difference to Mike Tyson?
Yeah, Kevin McBride. I'm just concentrating on fighting him right now. I'm so happy to be back and just real excited to be back in the ring.
Mike, have you missed being in these big crowds and this big thing? Because it's been like a year since you fought. So here you are, all your people with you, and you're in a place where they've all welcomed you.
I've been blessed to be able to attract big crowds. I owe a great deal at the Customato and the way he cultivated my style of being explosive and exciting.
Okay, there's Mike Tyson. Jeremy, back to you.
Thanks very much, Dan. A revealing interview with Mike Tyson. Hasim, what did you just see when you looked into Mike's eyes?
Well, I just saw for the first time Mike predicted a knockout. He hasn't predicted a knockout this whole press tour, leading up to this fight. He's never said, I'm going to knock this guy out. But now I see a sense of urgency on him, talking about he's going to make a lot of noise when he falls. That's what I want to see. That's the excitement. That's what I want to see. Mike Tyson talking about knocking somebody out.
And he seemed calm. He seemed relaxed. He didn't seem like the guy yesterday who got irritated with one of McBride's advisors.
Well, he knows it's almost showtime now. The weigh-in is done. All the pre-fight hype is done. It's time to lay hands on somebody now.
Well, speaking of the person that he is thinking about laying hands on, Kevin McBride, again, I don't think we can overstate this. 271 pounds is not what you would want if you were a guy in Kevin McBride's corner. Kevin McBride, he will shortly have to answer that question from our very own Dan Rayfield.
Here with Kevin McBride. Kevin, you weighed in 271 pounds. You're a big guy to begin with. That's pretty much as you've weighed in your entire career. I'm wondering, was that on purpose that you wanted to come in and use that bulk on Mike Tyson?
Definitely so, but I have a strength coach this last 5 weeks, and I've lost 25 pounds in weight, and then I built it up in muscle.
Now, a lot of people don't give you any chance to win this fight, and I know you've been hearing that all through this promotion. Can you tell me why you think that Kevin McBride is going to be able to defeat Mike Tyson?
So I'm a bigger, stronger man than Mike Tyson. I'm here to fight. I train harder than ever that I did in my life. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to shock the world. Believe me when I say it. I got a hypnotist on board. I'm psyched. I'm ready to go.
I'm wondering about the hypnotist. What exactly does this person do for you to prepare you for the fight?
Subconsciously, he has me already set. Once I go in that ring, you're going to see a different Kevin McBride. You're going to see the real Kevin McBride come out on June 11th and take care of business.
Okay, there's Kevin McBride, 271 pounds. Back to you, Jeremy.
Dan, thank you very much. Again, a 9.5-to-1 underdog fighting the former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. Hasim, you know something about being a big underdog, particularly when you fought the first time for the World Heavyweight Championship against Lennox Lewis. How does that affect a fighter mentally?
Well, it just makes you can't leave no stone unturned. You just got to go out there and cross all the T's, dot all the I's. You know the deck is stacked against you. So you really have to go out there and just do everything. And after you do everything, do a little bit more.
So again, Mike Tyson weighing in at 233 pounds. This will be only the 4th time he's ever fought over 230. 2 of the previous 3 fights against Danny Williams and Lennox Lewis, he has been a loser. In fact, he was knocked out in both times, interestingly enough, by an English heavyweight. For Hasim Rahman and Dan Rayfield, I'm Jeremy Schaap, and we are here covering the Mike Tyson-Kevin McBride fight that is coming up Tuesday night. Make that Saturday night at the MCI Center here in Washington, D.C.
All right, guys, thank you for your coverage of that. Mike Tyson weighing in at 233 pounds. We'll see what he does in the ring on Saturday. Plenty more hot lists rolling on today right here on ESPN News, so keep it locked.
Seen earlier on the hot list, the weigh-in took place for the Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride fight Saturday in D.C. Tyson weighed in at 233 pounds, while McBride comes in at 271 pounds, the heaviest opponent Tyson has ever faced.
Today, the weigh-in for Saturday night's heavyweight fight between the Colonis Colossus and Iron Mike. Tyson tipped the scales at 233 pounds, while Kevin McBride is at his beefiest, 271. That's the heaviest McBride's been for a fight, and you know both heavyweights had something to say.
A lot of people don't give you any chance to win this fight, and I know you've been hearing that all through this promotion. Can you tell me why you think that Kevin McBride is going to be able to defeat Mike Tyson?
So I'm a bigger, stronger man than Mike Tyson. I'm here to fight. I train harder than ever that I did in my life. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to shock the world. Believe me when I say it. I got a hypnotist on board. I'm psyched. I'm ready to go.
I want to ask you about Kevin McBride's weight. He was 271 pounds. You're weighing about the same that you've weighed in the past few fights. What do you make of him weighing so much bigger than you?
I don't mind. It's okay. He's a bigger guy. He just make more noise when he falls.
So you're predicting a knockout in this fight, obviously.
Oh, definitely. I'm in great shape. I feel real good. We trained a lot of hours. I put in 11 weeks, and I feel real confident for the victory.
Well, taking a look at the tail of the tape, McBride weighed in 38 pounds heavier than Tyson, making Kevin the heaviest potential meal Tyson could have. Yes, it would have to be sushi. Of course, McBride also has an 11-inch reach advantage and is roughly 7 years younger than Iron Mike. Remember, Tyson celebrates his 39th birthday, June 30th.
Update what she's doing.
And Mike Tyson weighing in for Saturday night's fight, but see why Iron Mike was going toe-to-toe with a member of ESPN News
Thursday.
Thursday.
I should retire? You tired of seeing me too? You know, you keep coming up with these next interview, you know what I mean, to promote the fight.
Welcome back to Sports Center in Washington, D.C., where on Saturday night, Mike Tyson will return to the ring to fight Kevin McBride and Tyson at Thursday's weigh-in, mounting the scales at 233 pounds, looking relatively fit. His opponent, on the other hand, weighing in at 271 pounds, the 9-to-1 underdog, Kevin McBride. ESPN.com senior boxing writer Dan Rayfield asked Tyson about the 38-pound differential.
I don't mind. It's okay. He's a bigger guy. He just make more noise when he falls.
So you're predicting a knockout in this fight, obviously.
Oh, definitely. I'm in great shape. I feel real good. We trained a lot of hours. I put in 11 weeks, and I feel real confident for the victory.
Now, Mike, it's been about a year since you fought last. You've been fighting about once per year the last few years. How is that going to affect you coming into this fight with McBride, if at all?
Well, I don't think it will, but I've been doing a lot of training with a lot of tough sparring partners, and I'm going to change that schedule and fight probably every 3 or 2 months, and I'm looking forward to staying active again.
Mike, have you missed being in these big crowds and this big thing? Because it's been like a year since you fought. So here you are, all your people with you, and you're in a place where they've all welcomed you.
I've been blessed to be able to attract big crowds. I owe a great deal to Customato and the way he cultivated my style of being explosive and exciting.
Can you tell me why you think that Kevin McBride is going to be able to defeat Mike Tyson?
So I'm a bigger, stronger man than Mike Tyson. I'm here to fight. I train harder than ever that I did in my life. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to shock the world. Believe me when I say it. I got a hypnotist on board. I'm psyched. I'm ready to go.
The tail of the tape says McBride's 7 inches taller than Tyson. It's really about 9 inches. Mike's really only about 5'9". And then there is that 38-pound weight difference. And joining me now, the former world heavyweight champion, our ESPN boxing analyst, Hasim Rahman. Hasim, what do you make of the weight differential?
Well, I think it'd be a potential problem for Mike Tyson. If Mike allows this fight to go 10 rounds and McBride can push on him and lean on him, then that could be a problem. Kevin can wind up stopping Mike late. But I don't expect the fight to go much more than 2 rounds.
Now, you were a huge underdog when you won the title fighting Lennox Lewis. McBride, a 9-to-1 underdog. How does that affect him psychologically?
Well, Kevin has nothing to lose. He can go out and throw caution to the wind. This is the Mike Tyson show. The onus is on Mike Tyson to put on a good performance. So Kevin can go right out and try to land something big. But I don't expect him to, win.
You're still betting on Mike Tyson. Again, Mike Tyson getting back into the ring Saturday night to fight Kevin McBride. Tyson has been knocked out in 2 of his last 3 fights.
Thank you, Jeremy. And then after stepping off the Toledo, Mike apparently got an early start on angering himself up for Saturday night's bout. Got a little testy with our David Amber while guesting on ESPN News' The Hot List this afternoon. Ideally, you don't want to leave it on the bus, but maybe Tyson has enough ornery in him to last a couple of days.
What's it going to take to decide finally, hey, enough's enough as far as boxing is concerned?
Hey, do you think I should retire? Are you tired of seeing me too? You know, you keep coming up with these negative questions. You know, I thought this is an interview, you know what I mean, to promote the fight.
No, these aren't negative questions. I just want to get your thought on what your future holds.
Well, whatever it holds, it holds. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I move to a third world country or something.
Note that tonight it came over the wire. There is unrest in Bolivia. Anyway, it could be worse. At least Tyson didn't threaten to gut our host like a fish. He did, however, beg out of 2 other ESPN interviews, including one for SportsCenter. As for Tyson's future, the question, his manager said Mike needs to fight another half a dozen times to get himself out of hock with the IRS.
They are separated by 6 years, about 40 pounds, several tattoos, and nearly $300 million in career earnings. But tomorrow night, Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride will come together in Washington, D.C. for a heavyweight battle. Iron Mike hasn't been in the ring for nearly a year. What impact will that have? Jeremy Schaap and Asim Rockman preview the fight. Guys?
Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, the site of Saturday night's heavyweight fight between Iron Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride. The weigh-in Thursday, you can see the enormous height and weight disparity between the men. Tyson weighing in at 233, McBride at 271 pounds. Tyson will turn 39 later this month. He's almost 7 years older than Kevin McBride. He says despite the age difference, Mike doesn't have a lot of rounds on him, and that means he is a younger fighter than he is a man.
I don't know. That's why I think I'm more preserved than most of the guys. I haven't, even some fights where I took some shellac and some, I just, I don't know, I'm pretty resilient. You know what I mean? I've been inactive a lot. I had a lot of time for my body to heal, and I'm pretty fresh. Pretty fresh.
You're about to turn 39. You're still fighting. Did you ever think you'd still be fighting at this age?
Well, I never thought I'd feel this good at 38 or 39. It's just, I don't know, fighting is mostly psychological and frame of mind.
There was a time in your career when it didn't matter who the opponent was. You just had to be Mike Tyson in the ring. Is that how it is now, or are you preparing specifically to fight Kevin McBride?
I'm just getting in physical shape, psychological shape, and then when I get in there, I'm just going to fight. Once I'm in shape, and I'm in shape and condition to fight, it just happens.
And we are joined now by the former world heavyweight champion, our ESPN boxing analyst, Asim Rockman, a man who would one day like to fight Iron Mike Tyson. Tyson's fought only 5 rounds, Asim, since losing to Lennox Lewis 3 years ago. How does that affect him?
Well, it could potentially be a double-edged sword. If Mike Tyson comes out and does what he does best and knock you out early, then it really won't affect him. But if Mike allows Kevin McBride to extend him to the later rounds, then we could potentially see some ring rust in Mike Tyson.
Those 5 rounds in 2 fights last year, a 4th-round knockout at the hands of Danny Williams. 2 years ago, on the other hand, he knocked out Clifford Etienne in the 1st round. Let's take a look at that fight. And it looks like the old Iron Mike Tyson. He comes right at Cliff Etienne.
He definitely looks like the old Mike Tyson coming right at Cliff Etienne. But Cliff Etienne took a page out of Mike's book and tried to fight Mike's style and got caught the short end of the stick.
That's not what you want to do. You want to instead try to just survive that 1st round against the onslaught of Mike Tyson.
Definitely, because Mike comes out throwing bombs, coming out looking to throw every punch with bad intentions, trying to get you out of there early. If you can withstand that, then you could potentially turn the tables on Mike and possibly get a late round stoppage yourself.
And that was, of course, very much the story when he fought Danny Williams last year in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's take a look at that. Here we go again. Mike Tyson coming right at Danny Williams. It looks like he might knock him out in the 1st round.
He definitely looks good the 1st round. The first 2 rounds looked like he was definitely headed for an early night, knocking Danny Williams out. But Danny withstood the barrage and came back and started fighting back and fighting hard and turned the tables on Mike and knocked him out.
It looks like a page out of Buster Douglas's book.
Definitely. You definitely got to show heart and fight back. If you fight back after Mike throws all his bombs, then, you know, Mike has a problem.
What does it mean to Mike Tyson, though, when you bully the bully?
Well, I don't think you a bully can prepare for that. When he's getting bullied, that's just something, that's like a fish out of water. he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to respond to that, obviously.
To what extent now, he's going to be 39 this month, is Mike Tyson a one-dimensional fighter?
Well, I always think Mike Tyson was a one-dimensional fighter, but he got away with it with his speed and his elusiveness. But now he doesn't move his head as much.
The Second World War Memorial on the Mall in Washington, D.C. Side by side, the Lincoln Memorial, Washington, the site of Saturday night's heavyweight fight between Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride. Here, the weigh-in Thursday. You can see the enormous weight disparity. Mike Tyson, 233 pounds. Kevin McBride, 271 pounds. In his last few fights, Mike Tyson has had several trainers. There are always questions about what his tactics will be. I asked him what his plans are for this fight.
What's your strategy?
Just to fight smart, you know, just to go in there and fight him.
There is a perception now that you are just a puncher, that you can't fight defensively, that you're not in it for the whole fight, that you just want to knock a guy out. How much of that perception is reality?
I don't know. If the opportunity comes for me to knock the guy out, then that perception is reality. But then we're training now, we're doing well, and we'll be prepared for 10 rounds.
Few people expect this fight to go that full 10 rounds. However, we're joined now by Hasim Rahman, the former world heavyweight champion, our ESPN boxing analyst. Tyson's fought only 5 rounds in the last 3 years. How does that affect him, Hasim?
Well, I think potentially ring rust could be a factor. If Mike Tyson doesn't go out and take care of business early, then if Kevin McBride is around for the later rounds, then I think we could see a bit of ring rust on Mike Tyson.
A year ago, Tyson got knocked out in 4 rounds by Danny Williams. The year before that, his first fight after the Lewis fight, he knocked out Cliff Etienne in the first round. Let's take a look at that. There he is, coming right out like the old Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's what Mike Tyson needs to do. Come out with that fiery and fury, come right out and let his hands go and hit the guy with the bomb and get the people what they want to see.
And Clifford Etienne playing right into his hands there, because instead of just trying to withstand that assault in the first round, he's trying to match him blow for blow.
That's the wrong thing to do with a puncher like Mike Tyson. You don't want to stand there and trade and show him who's the stronger fighter. You try to outsmart Mike Tyson. Try to get him into the later rounds where he's not comfortable with fighting at this stage in his career.
And that was very much the story last year against Danny Williams at Louisville, Kentucky. Let's take a look. Danny Williams looks like he might get knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, Mike Tyson came out as his usual self, coming out throwing bombs, looking really good early in the fight. But Danny Williams withstood the onslaught and came on and started throwing punches of his own. Beautiful uppercut, good right hand, and he's really hitting Mike. And if you notice, Mike's head movement is nothing like it used to be back when he was the great Mike Tyson.
What are the odds, though, Hasim, that Kevin McBride can do what we see Danny Williams doing?
Well, I would personally say slim and none, and slim is out of the country.
All right, there you have it. From Hasim Rahman, the former world heavyweight champion, I'm Jeremy Schaff. We'll be here Saturday night, the MCI Center, the site of the Kevin McBride Iron Mike Tyson fight.
Del Sugar is here with us. We're going to get his comments on Mike Tyson in just we'll get those ready. Mike Tyson, yes, this weekend. I just asked Barry McGuigan, as a matter of fact, a few moments ago. He, of course, is the Clonus Cyclone. The Clonus Colossus is Kevin McBride, and I asked him, what type of shot do you give McBride against Mike Tyson? He said, honestly? I said, yes. He said, he hasn't got a chance. All right, Kevin McBride, we've seen him on Friday Night Fights, but he does take on Iron Mike Tyson, former heavyweight champion of the world, on Saturday night in Washington, D.C. Let's get the very latest right now from Jeremy Schaff.
Brian, at their press conference Wednesday, Mike Tyson called Kevin McBride a tomato can, and here he is jawing at the much larger McBride, who outweighs him by 38 pounds. Tyson says that while he's in no hurry to reclaim the championship, his eyes are on the prize.
Do you feel that you're close to becoming a heavyweight champion again?
Absolutely. Absolutely, but it has to be done smart. It can't be done by being in there and just wrecking myself, destroying my body, and it has to be done slowly and it has to be done more as an intellectual point of form. It can't be done just, well, we're going to go in there and knock guys out. It has to just be done smart and intelligently.
What would it mean to you to become the heavyweight champion of the world again?
Well, that's our goal. That's what we're working. I'm not here just to get money and pay debts. I'm here because I feel good. You know what I mean? I could have took the arrogant perspective and said, hey, the hell with everybody. They get it when I give it to them. But I just want to be a good man. I don't want to have to owe people money. I don't want no one to ever say Mike Tyson was dishonest. He never paid his bills. And as I was saying earlier, I feel good about myself. I feel good about my acquaintances and my associates around me, win or lose.
Kevin McBride is a 9-to-1 underdog. Mike Tyson is expected to end this fight early, Brian. But of course, those were the expectations last year when he ended up losing in 4 rounds by knockout to Danny Williams. Kevin McBride, Mike Tyson, Saturday night at the MCI Center here in Washington, D.C.
All right, Jeremy Schaap in Washington again, and I'll be joining him for SportsCenter coverage tomorrow night. Jeff Fennick, we saw that. You know Jeff Fennick, former champion, former Hall of Famer. He'd love to be here this weekend as well, but he's got a new gig with Iron Mike. What do you think about Tyson at this point in his career? Do you think he can put back together another run, at least toward the top 10, toward the title, Bert?
Well, you have to understand it's a commentary as much on the heavyweight division as it is on Tyson. Yes, his prime is behind him, and so far behind him, he couldn't find it in his rearview mirror, soon to be 39. But look at the heavyweight division. If you put all 4 champions, and they're 4, in a police lineup in their gloves, robes, and trunks, not only wouldn't most people know who they are, they wouldn't know what they did for a living.
But Vitaly Klitschko is a big, dangerous man, Bert. What do you think about Klitschko? Is he too far away for Tyson to even get near and have that good round and a half that you know Tyson's always going to be able to give?
I just don't know how he moves with that back operation. But all that said, if you give Galata 4 chances, why not Tyson 1 if he wins this fight tomorrow night and a few others? He must face the top 10.
Yes.
But tomorrow night, it'll be over between Osei and Can You See? I think the referee should know 2 words, Tim and Burr.
Bert.
Thank you, Brian.
Congratulations. Burt Randolph Sugar, everybody. As people asked me, and I said, who's going to be inducted? I said, Burt Randolph Sugar. They said, he's not in. Well, now you're in. And it's about time.
Thank
Burt,
you.
Congratulations. Burt Randolph Sugar, now in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
You know his name. You know his power. But what you don't know is what'll happen next.
It's going to be a train wreck.
Mike Tyson versus 6'6" giant Kevin McBride. Saturday, June 11th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. With Mike Tyson, anything is possible. Don't miss it. Tyson versus McBride on Channel 123.
Prediction coming up for this weekend. Tyson McBride is scheduled for 10.
10 seconds?
10 seconds, yes, indeed. Quickly, what's going to happen? How long does this go?
Not 10 seconds.
It doesn't go first punch?
Yeah, it depends on whether or not Tyson drinks caffeine, drinks coffee. If he has espresso and he goes out there quick,
it is
he
what
walks
it is.
out with a fast pace, it's going to be over in about 30, 40 seconds.
I mean, it's
if
a
he
side
takes
ring
his
of the
time,
circus.
if he takes his time, it might go 40 seconds.
Brian Kenny with Christy.
It is fight night in Washington, D.C., and maybe the last we will see of Mike Tyson, because if he loses to Kevin McBride, Tyson could well be through. Brian Kenny now joins us. Brian, why is this make or break tonight for Iron Mike?
Oh, Billy, why so negative? Washington, D.C. by night. The main attraction is, of course, Iron Mike Tyson taking on Kevin McBride. Earlier this afternoon, the bagpipes were out for the Irish heavyweight practicing as they will, I'm sure, bring in the Clonus Colossus, Kevin McBride, to fight Iron Mike Tyson. Well, it is a familiar story in the world of boxing. A once dominant champion now fighting well past his prime to fight off debt. Although Iron Mike Tyson says he still has aspirations to once again be the heavyweight champion of the world. He first, however, must rack up several impressive wins, and it all starts tonight. Jeremy Schaap has more with Tyson on the specifics of tonight's fight.
What's your strategy?
Just to fight smart, you know, just to go in there and fight him.
There is a perception now that you are just a puncher, that you can't fight defensively, that you're not in it for the whole fight, that you just want to knock a guy out. How much of that perception is reality?
I don't know. I don't know. If the opportunity comes for me to knock the guy out, then that perception is reality. But then we're training now, we're doing well, and we'll be prepared for 10 rounds.
Well, Mike Tyson has an impressive first-round knockout percentage. This mostly, though, built up in 1985 and 1986. In 85, he was 15-0 with 15 KOs. Jack Dempsey is number 2 all-time, but Tyson still explosive power. He had it at the age of 19. He has it now at the age of 38. Well, joining me right now is the former heavyweight champion of the world in his own right, Hasim Rahman. And Rock, just what are your thoughts? What are you going to be looking for from Mike Tyson early? You're going to be looking for hand speed, foot speed, combinations. What are you going to be looking for early against McBride?
Well, definitely I'm going to be looking for hand speed, foot speed, and combinations and defense. for him not to allow McBride, who's a slow heavyweight, to hit him with punches. I'm looking for him to go out and hit McBride early and often and end the fight early.
Now, Mike Tyson knows the blueprint at this point, and he's said it for several years. He knows he has to get back in the ring, fight often, get the rhythm back, get the timing back, get the desire back. He's been saying that for a number of years. Does he have the desire, Rock, do you think, to follow his own blueprint?
Well, it appears from everything he's saying this week that he's on the right path. But only time could tell with Mike Tyson. He needs to go out and do the right thing with this fight and then continue with several fights like this and get himself back in the mix.
Now, Kevin McBride, the heavyweight that's in the ring tonight, and this is why, again, as Billy mentioned, could be the end of Mike Tyson. Not many people figuring that because Kevin McBride, anytime he has stepped up to a significant level of competition, he's fallen short. He's lost to DeVarrell Williamson. He's lost to Axel Schultz. Last time we saw him on Friday Night Fights, took on a heavyweight by the name of Kevin Monty. This was the day after St. Patrick's Day on an all-Irish fight card. And, all right, Rock, what do you see? What level fighter are we talking about with Kevin McBride in the green trunks?
You're talking about a C-level fighter at best. And who's lost to C-level fighters. Mike Tyson is above C-level even at this point, and I think, he would be too much for Kevin McBride. McBride doesn't do anything good, and his defense is horrible.
We should point out the Tyson camp was looking at Kevin McBride as a possible opponent before they thought, all right, that was too soft to touch, and then they went looking for Danny Williams, which turned out to be a mistake, and Tyson was knocked out. What are you going to be looking for Tyson as far as rounds? Like, at what point will you say this fight has gone on too long for Mike Tyson?
Well, if Mike Tyson allows this guy to get out of the fourth round, which is stretching it, then I think that's a failed performance for Mike Tyson. This guy does not belong in the ring with Mike Tyson. It's Mike Tyson's job to go in there and get him out of the ring.
All right, first round, second round, what are you calling?
I'm calling second at best, but he should get him out of there in the first.
Now, look, Tyson needs a confidence builder at this point. He needs the cash. It's always good to be able to make money. We'll see what the pay-per-view returns are as well. I'm here with Hasim Rahman, former heavyweight champion of the world, all throughout the evening. He looks good in the stare-down, Rock.
Yeah, but he ain't taking no punches in the stare-down.
He will be in a couple of hours. It's a good point. We'll be here continuing coverage on ESPN News over on SportsCenter as well after the fight. Right now, let's send it back to the studio, guys.
Fight night tonight at the MCI Center. Kevin McBride, excuse me, I'm all choked up, apparently. 32-4-1, but not considered a viable opponent for that man. Mike Tyson trying to resurrect the career, 50-4 with 44 knockouts coming in. Get more from Brian Kenny in Washington, D.C. Brian, thanks. You look back at the last 6 fights for Mike Tyson and Kevin McBride, not exactly a who's who of opponents. In fact, outside of Lennox Lewis and perhaps Andrew Golota, the rest of the opponents on this list, serious no-names in the heavyweight community.